evening, guys. So today we'll take up a problem on ray optics. We'll take up a pretty basic topic on ray optics, and that is reflection of light. And we'll try to get a relation between the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal, right? And we'll see how this relation between the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal will help us solve questions like the one which I'm going to show over here. So let me share the screen with you guys. So here you have a question. You have a ray of light which is incident on a plane mirror along a vector I cap plus j cap minus k cap, right? And the normal on the incident point is given as I cap plus j cap. Then you need to find out what's the unit vector along the reflected ray. Then you need to find out what's the unit vector along the reflected ray over here. So as you can see in this question, your information is mentioned in terms of vectors, like the incident ray is given in terms of a vector, the normal is given in terms of a vector. Then what would be your reflected ray again in terms of a vector over here is what we need to find out in this question, right? So let us derive a general formula for these kind of scenarios, and this formula, as you can see, would be helpful to solve many other kinds of problems of the same concept, right? So now we'll be deriving a relation between incident ray, reflected ray, and normal. Right? Or rather, as you'll be seeing, we'll be deriving a relation between the unit vectors. We'll be deriving a relation between the unit vectors, right? So we'll be deriving a relation between the unit vectors of the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal over here. So let me draw a diagram first for your normal case of reflection. So let's say we have an incident ray incident on a surface, right? And let's draw the normal over here. And let us assume that the angle which this incident ray makes with the normal is theta, right? So from our laws of reflection, we are familiar that the reflected ray will also make the same angle, theta with the normal, will also make the same angle, theta with the normal, right? But now what we are trying to derive is a relation between the unit vector. So let me take the unit vector along the incident ray to be equal to E1 cap. So let E1 cap denote unit vector along incident ray, unit vector along incident ray. Let n cap denote unit vector along normal, unit vector along normal, and let E2 cap denote unit vector along reflected ray. So now we'll be getting a relation between E1 cap, E2 cap, and n cap. We'll be getting a relation between E1 cap, E2 cap, and n cap over here. Right? Okay. So one relation which I can write between E1 cap, E2 cap, and n cap is from your parallelogram law of addition, right? I think it should be pretty obvious that you should be able to see this, that E2 cap minus E1 cap should be equal to some multiple of n cap, that will be equal. Let's say that the scalar multiple over here is alpha. So E2 cap minus E1 cap will be equal to alpha into n cap. Why am I writing this relation, or how am I able to write this relation? Let us have a look at these two rays now. So this is E2 cap. So what do we minus E1 cap? Minus E1 cap will be in the opposite direction to your reflected ray, right? And since these are both unit vectors, they are both unit vectors, the magnitude of both of them will be the same. So what would be E2 cap minus E1 plus or minus E1 cap? You're going according to the parallelogram law of addition. It has to be the diagonal of the parallelogram. So in this case, since both these vectors are equal, you know that it has to lie on the angular bisector. The E2 cap minus E1 cap should lie on the angular bisector, right? And we see that the normal is also lying on the angular bisector between the incident ray and the reflected ray. So E2 cap minus E1 cap should lie in the same direction as your normal, but it need not be a unit vector. E2 cap minus E1 cap need not be a unit vector. So let's say it's some multiple of n cap over here. So this is the first relation we're writing. E2 cap minus E1 cap is equal to some alpha into n cap, right? And now let me take the magnitude of these two vectors. So your magnitude of E2 cap minus E1 cap should be equal to the magnitude of alpha n cap, right? And what will be the magnitude of E2 cap minus E1 cap? So from your formula of root of a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta, we see that this value will turn out to be under root of the value of this vector, since it's a unit vector, will be 1. So the root of 1 square, the value of this vector, since this is also a unit vector, will also be 1. So the root of 1 square plus 1 square plus, now let me write this is, we are taking again, E2 cap minus E1 cap is nothing but the addition of E2 cap with minus E1 cap, right? And the angle between E2 cap and minus E1 cap, the angle between E2 cap and minus E1 cap is 2 theta. Is 2 theta over here. So the magnitude over here will be equal to plus 2 into 1 into, sorry, plus 2 into 1 into 1. So that is under root of 2ab, right? And then again, I'm finding the angle between E2 cap and minus E1 cap. So what's the angle between E2 cap and minus E1 cap? We saw that the angle between them is 2 theta. So this will be cos of 2 theta. So this will be this magnitude term. And what will be the magnitude of this term? N cap is anyways a unit vector, and we have a scalar multiple alpha over here whose value is unknown for now. So the magnitude will be equal to alpha, right? So from this we get, taking square on both sides, can I write 2 plus 2 cos 2 theta will be equal to alpha square, sorry. So 2 plus 2 cos of 2 theta will be equal to alpha square, right? And then from our trigonometric identities, we know 1 plus cos 2 theta will be equal to 2 cos square theta. So this will become 4 cos square theta is equal to alpha square. So you get the value of that scalar multiple alpha to be equal to 2 cos theta. We get alpha to be equal to 2 cos theta over here, right? So a relation between, and now we'll go back to an earlier relation between E2 cap, E1 cap, and N cap, which was this. And now we found out what was the value of this scalar multiple over here. So now I can write the relation between E2 cap, E1 cap, and N cap to be equal to E2 cap minus E1 cap is equal to 2 cos theta of N cap, is equal to 2 cos theta of N cap, right? And now this can be further, I want the answer exclusively in terms of E1 cap and N cap, or at least we'll be deriving a relation exclusively in terms of these unit vectors. So we'll also write this cos theta in terms of these unit vectors, right? And now what is the angle between E1 cap and N cap? So this was your incident ray and this was your normal vector. This was a unit vector along the normal. So this was E1 cap and N cap. And we have taken this angle as theta. So the angle between E1 cap and N cap, as you always remember, you always find the angle between two vectors between their tails. So the angle between E1 cap and N cap will be equal to 180 minus theta, right? So what will E1 cap dot N cap be equal to? So E1 cap dot N cap will be equal to, it's a dot product of these two unit vectors. So it will be equal to 1 into 1 into cos of 180 minus theta into cos of 180 minus theta, right? I'm sorry, it will be equal to cos of 180 minus theta. And what is cos of 180 minus theta equal to? Cos of 180 minus theta will be equal to minus cos theta. So E1 cap dot N cap will be equal to minus cos theta. So that implies cos theta will be equal to minus E1 cap dot N cap. Cos theta will be equal to minus E1 cap dot N cap, right? So again, we wanted to get a relation only between these three vectors, only between these three unit vectors. So we are writing this angle, this cos of this angle also in terms of these unit vectors. So now I can write this relation as E2 cap minus E1 cap is equal to twice of minus E1 cap dot N cap of N cap, right? And then rewriting this relation, we get E2 cap to be equal to E1 cap minus twice of E1 cap dot N cap of N cap. And finally, what we end up with is purely a relation between the unit vectors along the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal. So this is your final relation between the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal, right? And this formula which we have derived over here will be helpful in solving questions like the one I've shown you earlier. So right, this is a final relation between incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal. Reflected ray and the normal. Right, so once again, going through the derivation. So what we have done over here is, we have first taken E2 cap minus E1 cap to be equal to N cap. That is from a parallelogram law of addition. We saw that E2 cap minus E1 cap would be along the angular bisector. And the angular bisector is nothing but the normal over here. So E2 cap minus E1 cap, we are saying is equal to some multiple of N cap. Again, it's lying in the same direction. It need not be a unit vector. E2 cap minus E1 cap need not be a unit vector. So it's some multiple of N cap. Then we're taking the magnitude of both the vectors. right? Because you want to find out what the value of this alpha will be equal to. And then using your formula for the magnitude of the difference between the two vectors, we got this value for alpha to be equal to 2 cos theta. And then substituting the relation back in E2 cap minus E1 cap is equal to alpha into n cap. But now we have found out what the value of alpha is, 2 cos theta of n cap, right? And then we are writing this cos theta also in terms of these unit vectors. We're writing this cos theta also in terms of this unit vector. So we saw that by using the dot product of these two vectors, E1 cap dot n cap was equal to minus cos theta. So cos theta is equal to minus E1 cap dot n cap. And finally, we're substituting the formula back over here. So this will be a relation between incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal, right? And now we'll see how we can use this question. So to solve how we can use this formula to solve the question which I had given earlier, right? So let's go back to that question again. So in the question, we had a ray of light that was incident on a plane mirror along a vector I cap plus j cap minus k cap. So let me write that information down. So the question was, your incident ray is along what vector? The incident ray was along the vector I cap plus j cap minus k cap, right? And now to use this formula, we need the unit vector along the incident ray. So what would be the unit vector along this direction? The unit vector along this direction would be equal to this vector divided by its magnitude. So it will be equal to I cap plus j cap minus k cap. And the magnitude of this vector will be equal to root 3. Root of 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. So this is nothing but the unit vector along the incident ray. So in other words, this is our E1 cap over here. This is the E1 cap in the formula, the unit vector along the incident ray, right? And then the direction of the normal was also given. The normal is said to be along the direction of, the normal on the incident point is along the direction of I cap plus j cap. So your normal was along I cap plus j cap. So once again, we'll find out, and again, this is not a unit vector. So we'll find out what is the unit vector along the normal. And the unit vector along the normal will be equal to I cap plus j cap divided by root 2. That's your n cap over here, right? And finally, what we need to find out from these two information is we need to find out what's the unit vector along the reflected ray. That is E2 cap, right? So now we'll make use of the formula which we derived earlier, and that was E2 cap is equal to E1 cap minus twice the dot product of E1 cap dot n cap multiplied with n cap. So using this formula over here, where E2 cap is once again the unit vector along the reflected ray. So E2 cap is equal to, E1 cap minus twice of E1 cap dot n cap into n cap, right? And what was our E1 cap over here? That was I cap plus j cap minus k cap divided by root 3 minus twice of I cap plus j cap minus k cap divided by root 3 dot of what was the unit vector along the normal? That was I cap plus j cap divided by root 2 multiplied with I cap plus j cap divided by root 2. And on simplifying this, what do we get? So this term remains as such. It will be equal to I cap plus j cap minus k cap divided by root 3. And now what's the dot product of these two vectors? So I cap gives us 1, j cap gives us 1, minus k cap, there's no term of k cap over here, so that become equal to 0. So this becomes 2 divided by root 6 into I cap plus j cap divided by root 2. On further simplifying it, we get this value to be equal to I cap plus j cap minus k cap by root 3 minus, so we're getting this is 4 divided by root 12 of I cap plus j cap, right? But 4 divided by root 12 is nothing but 2 by root 3. That will be 2. This can be written as 2 root 3. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So this becomes 2 divided by root 3 over here. So, and then finally simplifying it, we get this is minus of, we get minus I cap minus 2 I cap gives us minus I cap. J cap minus 2 j cap gives us minus j cap. And then minus k cap divided by root 3 as a final answer. So you get the unit vector along the reflected ray for this question to be equal to minus of I cap plus j cap divided by root 3. Right? So you see that this formula which you derived, that is the relation between the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal, is helpful to solve questions of these kinds. Right? You can directly now use this formula to get the answer for questions of this manner. Right? So I hope this concept is clear.